partnerships with others in the ecosystem to leverage other experience and expertise in the market, and to also bring in some of the payments expertise and some of the principles and guidelines of the Gates Foundation to help build these systems in a way that are as inclusive and as affordable as possible. We also do see regulatory limitations in undertaking these initiatives, whereas the credit unions are regulated by their Ministry of Cooperatives, or Cooperative Development Authority. Payments are the domain of the central bank. And so we see a crisscross of regulatory authority when it comes to regulating credit unions' digital payments initiatives. And so through this project, we are working with the regulators to bring them both to the table to help understand the way in which credit unions operate, explaining this to central banks, and explaining that by allowing credit unions to offer digital payments, how this helps to enhance central banks' cashless and financial inclusion objectives, and by also helping the credit union regulators understand how to work with the central banks and understanding the payments ecosystem more so that they feel comfortable supporting credit unions through these initiatives. Some more details on exactly what are we doing on this project to support the digitization of credit unions. I've been mentioning that shared digital payment platform. This is an architectural diagram, a visual of what that looks like. This yellow box, that integration layer, is that shared credit union payment system that enables interoperable, open-loop payments, real-time, instant payments, and that the system will be credit union-led, meaning it will be credit union-owned and governed. And as you see on this visual, that shared payment system integrates credit unions. It connects credit unions to each other, the various initiatives that are ongoing in the country, and it also integrates credit unions of varying levels of automation. In both markets, and I'm sure in many of the markets where you work as well, credit unions have varying levels of automation and adoption of core banking systems. Some may still be operating manually. Some may have developed their own shared core banking system, with their own core banking systems, whether through a vendor or developed in-house. Or some may be using shared core banking systems that are offered by federations or other companies. But this platform will connect credit unions to each other, and importantly, provide that connection to the national payment system that will allow interoperable payments throughout the financial system. There are a number of key elements in our approach to designing this credit union payment system. As it is a Gates Foundation project, we are able to leverage on the expertise and the experience of the Gates Foundation. The Gates Foundation has a level 1 project, which they've been launching globally. And the level 1 project aims to set forth a set of principles that guide the design of a payment system in an inclusive and affordable way. And in summary, these principles are that the payment system should be open loop, it should support real-time push payments for greater security, it should be governed by the participants. In this case, the participants in this payment platform are the credit unions. So it should be governed and owned by the credit unions who should have a say in this payment system. Not a third party necessarily saying this is what the platform provides and this is what it will offer, this is what you will comply to. The credit unions themselves lead this initiative. Payment system should be cost recovery plus investment, meaning that it should be operated as a utility and not a profit-making center. So it should be operated to serve the interests of the credit unions who are using the system. And it should provide shared services. In addition to providing the payments functionality, it should also include other functionalities such as a centralized directory and fraud management system, which would help to share the costs and lower the investments in utilizing these services. Secondly, it considers the use of module loop. Module loop source software that the Gates Foundation has developed and is currently testing. So one of the important concerns in adopting a payment system is the cost of the payment system, of that software. So the Gates Foundation has developed Mojaloop using open source technology to be able to lower the costs of using a software that could power this payment system. Thirdly, this project builds on existing initiatives and investments. We've said that already. There are a number of investments that have already been made. Through this shared platform, we are building on them, integrating them, enhancing them, and opening them up to the broader payments ecosystem to enhance that value proposition. It enables participants of credit unions with varying levels of automation, again, those that use core banking systems, whether it's their own or shared, and those that do not have core banking systems. And it emphasizes partnerships with other actors in the payment system. There's significant expertise in payments in these markets, and this initiative aims to create and build those partnerships with credit unions and other actors to enhance collaboration and to improve the level of services that credit unions can provide to their members. And ultimately, what we aim to achieve, and this is what we keep front and center, that what it's about is the members. What it's about is, well, the project will enhance the capability of credit unions to provide digital financial services to their members, but to what end, right? It's to enable credit unions to better serve their existing members, to reach new members, and to contribute more substantially to financial inclusion. As we're starting in Indonesia and the Philippines, we are capturing these lessons, and we do aim to bring these lessons to other markets, throughout the ACCU markets, member countries, and globally. And just one quote that we'll leave you with, and this quote by Darwin is actually a quote that my colleague Khurram will be up on the panel later on. When he was working at one of the leading banks in Pakistan, he was leading their digital banking initiative. And back in the 2000s, they were working to establish one of the national retail payment system in the country. And they always had this quote up to remind all of their staff what they were working for. Right? It's not the strongest species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. Ones who understand what the market demands, where the market is going, and is ready to adapt to those changes. So we'll leave it at that, and we will have a panel that can answer more questions and also elaborate on the initiatives in Indonesia and the Philippines.
Perfect. Okay, well, first, Tricia, thank you so much for the presentation. For the panel portion of the session, we're joined by other partners on the program. I'm just going to ask everyone to reintroduce themselves or introduce themselves. So I will start. I'm Grace Matera. I'm the Project Development Officer at the World Council of Credit Unions.
I'm Brian Branch. I serve as President and CEO of the World Council of Credit Unions. Your servant.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Khurram Sikandar from PAYSYS Global.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gloria Hutanan. I am the chairperson of the board of the Philippine Federation of Credit Cooperatives.
Hi, good morning. I am Mrs. Marlene Cello.
Chairperson of the National Confederation of Cooperatives, Philippines.
Hello, good morning everyone. I'm Joko Susilo, my name's. I'm the chairman of Credit Union of Indonesia. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Stefanus, Education Manager of WOCCU of Indonesia. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll have some panel questions, and at the end of the session, there will be an opportunity to ask questions. So if you think of anything you'd like to ask, you'll have an opportunity to do so. Our first question is for Brian Branch. Brian, what is WOCCU's vision for the global digital transformation of credit unions? And importantly, what is WOCCU's role?
Thank you. Our vision is that by the year 2025, of the credit unions around the world, of the countries that have credit union systems, we want all of those credit union systems to offer digital solutions for their members. Very ambitious goal. What's the World Council role? Ours is a collector, a connector. We're about using the mediums that we have to learn the lessons of what works, what doesn't work, how we share the experience, how we find the partners and the allies to achieve that. Because as challenging as that challenge or that vision is, there's been a lot of progress already made to date. There are lots of opportunities of those who have experience that can share with us. And frankly, we've just seen great innovative things come out of credit union systems around the world.
Perfect, thank you. So the next question is for Karam. In Trisha's presentation, there was a lot of discussion about interoperability. So what is interoperability, and why is this a good thing for credit unions?
I'm glad you asked. A lot of times when non-technical people hear the word interoperability, they feel that they need a computer science degree to figure out what interoperability is. But, we don't realize what interoperability is part of our everyday life. It is different systems working together, connecting with each other to book a flight on multiple airlines for your itineraries. How did I get here? I flew United to Tokyo, and from Tokyo to Malaysia, I flew Air Nepal. Two different airlines, but those systems talk to each other to book one itinerary. Similarly, when you make phone calls locally between two different mobile network providers, that's interoperability. Not just locally, but internationally. All these mobile networks come together to provide that service. And when we send emails effortlessly, without even thinking, how can I send an email from Gmail to a Yahoo account from different parts of the world? Those are systems working together to provide you that service. And similarly, payment system interoperability provides people the ability to easily send and receive money locally, internationally, where mobile payments are mature, but maybe more relevant to a lot of people here who might not use mobile payments, but do use their debit cards to withdraw funds from ATMs without even thinking for a second, what logo do I have on my ATM? Whose ATM am I using? What network is this? All you do is go to the ATM, sometimes pay a fee or don't, and withdraw funds without even thinking how that happens. You go and buy eggs and bread at merchants, present your card without even thinking, whose point of sale terminal is this? And how does that happen? That is back-end systems coming together to allow that transaction to take place seamlessly, instantly, without any special effort from the customers. That's what interoperability is. And when it comes to the credit unions and why it is important, I think interoperability addresses some challenges, but also creates some opportunities. Now, the challenge of infrastructure, Tricia spoke about this in the morning, and for the longest time, financial service providers created their own closed-loop systems with the worry that if I open my network, other competitors will come and poach my customers. But imagine if you wanted to provide bill payment services, transfer services, connectivity to e-commerce merchants, other banks, you would have to create bilateral single connections with all of those partners, which was costly and resource heavy, required a lot of investments. So banks and a lot of service providers realized that interoperability is beneficial. You collaborate on the infrastructure, but compete on the products. So instead of spending money on setting the infrastructure, you collaborate on it, but target your clients and develop products that actually meet their needs. The other opportunity that interoperability creates is that it increases the utility of the credit union account. Today, if you look at the credit union accounts, they offer two primary services, loan account and a savings account. For other payment needs, your members go open bank accounts or open e-money wallets. But if you look at our behavior and our needs, we would rather prefer that we have one account that meets all our payment needs. And interoperability allows you to connect to multiple partners through a single transaction account, thus increasing the utility of the credit union account. And more importantly, it creates digital liquidity. What happens today is when you disperse a loan, the first thing that the customer does is withdraw everything out of the account. And what interoperability does is that it creates opportunities and options for payments to numerous parties for your everyday goods and services, which means that the funds remain in the system, which allows the credit unions to make more strategic investments with the money that remains in the system. So those are some of the challenges and opportunities that interoperability creates.
Perfect, thank you. So, Karam, this next question is also for you. You're not off the hook yet. Our initiative with the Gates Foundation is considering the participation of credit unions at varying levels of automation. So both those that do and do not have core banking systems. What if my credit union isn't digitized? What if we don't have the widespread use of a core banking system? Can we still digitize payments the way that this project is proposing?
That's a great question, because not just in Indonesia and the Philippines, but all over the world, there are a number of credit unions that do not have core banking technology or are not sophisticated enough to provide digital payments. So, as Trisha was mentioning earlier, the uniqueness of this project that we're working on is that we're creating a shared payment system that not only allows credit unions to connect to external ATM and point-of-sale networks, other fintechs and e-commerce merchants, companies like Ubers and Grabs, to provide payment services to your credit union customers, but it also allows those credit unions that are still operating with manual ledgers to actually connect through the shared payment system to e-wallet or digital wallet solution providers that might white label a solution for that for that credit union that wants to provide transaction services. And a very good example of that solution is actually in the Philippines. When you look at the Kaya initiative, that is what Kaya is trying to do. Besides providing digital wallets to anyone that's interested within the credit union landscape over there, they're specifically also providing or addressing a challenge for those credit unions that do not have core banking systems but want to provide digital payment solutions. And that's what Kaya is doing. Maybe my colleagues will elaborate on that further.
Perfect. So Marlene, as chairperson of NATCCO, which has led the Kaya initiative in partnership with PFCCO, can you tell us a little bit more about the Kaya initiative and what your experience has been using it?
Good morning once again. As the chairperson of NATCCO, of course I shall be the model in implementing this project. How can I convince other members if I will not do it myself? So we implemented Kaya in our primary cooperative, and it was very exciting. Our members were very happy. Why? They can already pay their bills. They don't have to go to the town proper in order to pay their bills. All they have to do is do it in their cell phones. They can send allowances to their students, especially here in Manila, through the Kaya account. And so it would be a less cost for them, especially the travel expense. And eventually, in our co-op, we have labeled our co-op. We receive payments, especially bills payments. So it's another business of the cooperative. So it's a user-friendly technology. I am 65 years old, and I believe in the saying that goes, age doesn't matter when you're falling in love. Now this time, age doesn't matter in using technology, because we have to learn technology. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. We have to learn how to use the technology, because this is where we are right now. And it would make our life easier. According to Dr. Troy yesterday, he said, as leaders, we should be teachable. So whether you like it or not, as leaders, you have to know how to use the technology so that your members will also learn how to use it. Because I believe that Kaya will be a unifying factor for all of us to be interconnected. And we will be globally competitive because we have the technology that we call our own. Then that is Kaya. So go Kaya now. I tell you, it is so exciting. Why? Because of its features. Account. Eventually, when you send some fund or fund transfers, you can already check your account, whether how much is left in your bank or in your money in your account with Kaya. And then, just like yesterday, I sent 200 pesos to my manager to test the capability of Kaya. I sent 200 pesos. Immediately, the text message said, you have transferred 200 pesos to this account. Okay. So my manager said, text back, what is the 200 pesos for? I said, I tested Kaya, and so you have it. Okay, you return back to me the 200 pesos. I'll try to find out if it can reach me. And yes, he did. He returned back the 200 pesos, and another text message said, this account transferred 200 pesos to your account. So is it not that exciting? Well, it is, and it would make our lives easier. So go Kaya now.
Marlene, thank you. The next question is for Attorney Gloria. PFCCO, along with NATCCO, is one of the promoters of Kaya. Can you share what the vision for Kaya was when it started and how the Gates Initiative is adding to this vision?
Thank you, Grace. Well, we envision Kaya to be an identity tool for the cooperative movement in the Philippines. We also look at it as an integrative tool, as I mentioned in yesterday's meeting. And more importantly, because we have been recognized and tapped as a partner of the government in reaching and delivering services to far-flung places. Kaya is envisioned to be a financial inclusion tool. I speak about identity as an end that we would want to reach with the adoption of Kaya, because for so many years now, while we know that the cooperative movement is flourishing all over the world, we still are up against those private for-profit entities that have made their mark in the world of business. Our identity is important to us. And because Kaya is ours, and if we support the same, then we can tell the whole world that the cooperative sector
is at par, if not better, than the ones who look at their bottom line figures as more important. Our mandate is to help people help themselves. And Kaya definitely is an instrument for attaining such. I also spoke earlier about Kaya as an integrative tool, and I speak for my beautiful country of more than 7,000 islands, over 15,000 cooperatives, perhaps reaching 20,000, but a federation of over 200. So ours is a non-integrated cooperative network. Bringing Kaya and adopting and supporting it would allow us to touch base with practically all credit unions and cooperatives, and our members will also be able to make use of the services that Kaya can offer. Financial inclusion, yes, as I said, because this is the strategy that practically all governments in the world are adopting in keeping with what the SDGs are. We want everyone to be on board, and cooperatives have already been recognized as indispensable partners of government. I'm using a heavy word there because this is how I feel for us in the Philippines. We're now included in the talks and even in reviewing the implementing rules and regulations of our national retail payment system. Something that we can tell the ones in here that we're making a mark, we're starting to gain grounds, and it is because of Kaya. We have challenges, yes, like every one of us today is facing, but we're happy in the thought that if we continue to persevere, and I am holding out this statement, I'm making the statement to the ones in my country to take the lead. WOCCU is helping us. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is helping us, and that's why we're here this morning. This is now an opportunity for us. The interoperability concept that has been explained to you by Quran is one which would truly allow us to be connected. And let's be happy, Kaya is the instrument for that end. And so in answer to the second question, what has Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has done to help us a lot, and this is where we are now. We will continue to pursue every end possible to make Kaya the payment platform that everybody else, it's not only the Philippines, will benefit from, but the whole of Asia and eventually the world. So like what Marlene said a while back, we just have to answer when technology calls, because age does not matter. What matters is we belong, we are here, we will be adopting something that's good and will benefit our cooperators, so that in the end, our mandate of helping people help themselves will truly be realized. Thank you.
The next question is for Joko and Stephens. So in Indonesia, there have been several shared digital initiatives throughout the credit union movement. Would you please tell us a little bit more about these initiatives and how this project will add value to those?
Yes, in the beginning, talking about this IT, actually our national federation has already implemented how to serve the needs of our members, but it's doing by ourselves. But there are many, maybe over than 5 application programs, but it's not connected. Then what we think about that? If our members still using their own IT, but not connected in the national level, maybe this is the main problem. how it is very difficult to make our national integration in our movement. Then, how to do that? Because we understand that there are many limited in terms of capacity, in terms of money, in terms of everything, I think. So, how to do that? How to make it? We try to do it on our best, but it is not sufficient enough. That is why when the first time WOCCU come and offer us that maybe you don't need to change what your program is already implemented. WOCCU offer me that we will facilitate with the interchange program or bridging program to connect it all our program. Then our dream to make our national integration in our movement maybe will be okay. The problem is sometimes we are talking about this, they think that what happened then with our problem? It is very uneasy to convince our member that should be practiced first, because talking about this, you should understand that our member has already practices all of the financial technology, but coming from outside. If we do like this, maybe this is my presumption, they will not believe anymore to our sheep. What happened then? That's what I understand until now. That's what I want to say. Okay, maybe Mr. Step will add.
Thank you. There are a lot of initiatives in Indonesia. For example, KUKO already developed the SICOPDIT as a core banking system since the year 2000. And in 2014, there was a fifth generation of SICOPDIT, and we call it SICOPDIT Online. And until now, there are 4 channels that being created integrate with the SICOPDIT Online. We provide the mobile application, ATM, and then we call it SICOPDIT Collect. SICOPDIT Collect is an application on the EDC. EDC is like POS, but it's help a field officer to help the members can do the transaction, so the members doesn't need to go to the office of the unions. And then they already finished also, we call it SICOPDIT Pay. So for example, as a member, I have my kiosk or my merchant. So another member can purchase in my store, and they do not need to pay cash. And they can deduct from the deposit itself, for example. And then we also created a switching, but for now the switching only for the SICOPDIT user. And for information, there are 90 credit unions and 400 branches from 90 credit unions that are using the SICOPDIT. But for another core banking system, that's what we need from the Bill and Melinda Gates projects on level 1. So they will help us to connect with other core banking system. And thank you also to WOCCU and PAYSYS, because they are not just talking about the IT, they're also talking about outside the IT, because if we want to say interoperable, we also need to say regulation, the management team, and security.